It's the end of fall quarter of my freshman year. I'm at UCLA, one of the top universities in the country, and there's thousands of people around me who are incredibly intelligent, ambitious, and passionate. Me? Yeah, my grades are decent. I've spent so much of these past 3 months studying hard, working at my job, and trying to get involved in clubs. But all of my efforts over these past couple of months have just left me burned out, lonely, and completely lost. For the majority of my life, I thought good grades and an impressive resume would lead to a fulfilling career, which would ultimately result in my happiness. But this past quarter, as I committed to this way of living, I found my world shrinking smaller and smaller until it was just me, my work, and my ambitions. I ended up isolating myself, growing distant in all of my relationships, and because of this, my mental health has suffered. To make matters worse, I found that the more I tried to control my situation by doing things like doubling down on study time or planning out my next 4 years, the more out of control I felt. So now I'm beginning to question myself. Why am I studying so hard? What am I chasing after? Maybe I made a mistake in coming to UCLA. Maybe I'm not ready for college. It's been a year and 4 months since the end of fall quarter of my freshman year. Since then, I've lived a lot and learned a lot. And knowing what I know now, these are the words that I would tell myself a year ago. Dear Melody, I know it's tough right now. The future seems uncertain, home is hundreds of miles away, and mom and dad don't know your situation and don't know how to help. So it feels like you're all on your own with no one to count on except yourself. But don't let it get to you too much, because hey, I'm living, breathing proof that you're going to get through it. You're going to be okay. I know how stressful it can be trying to plan your future and figure yourself out, but then feeling incapable of controlling your situation. Here's the good news. It's okay if you don't know what you want to major in or what kind of career you're looking for. You don't need to know all of that right now. Before you start agonizing over the future, maybe you should pause and try to understand your present. What do you value? What do you believe in? What motivates the way you live and the choices that you make? I think what you're realizing is that there's something not quite right about the way you're living, something missing. But the answer is not that you need to figure out your whole life first. No one knows how to do that. Rather, what you need to understand is the driving force behind your life. Without a firm grasp of what motivates the way you live, you'll continue feeling lost, living day to day without purpose. But once you come to understand your value system, these standards will act as your compass, providing a clear direction as to how you should live and what it is you are living for. As I tried to figure out what foundation of values to build my life upon, I found myself on a search for truth. On a friend's recommendation, I began getting involved in a church community called Act2Fellowship. In this community, I learned that the truth could be found in a book called the Bible. Now, I know this is something that you've heard many times before, but could never really believe. But I encourage you to give it a second chance, because when you do, you'll find a loving and supportive community of friends and mentors, and you'll learn that there are in fact answers to the questions you're asking. Through taking the time to study the Bible and comparing its claims to the reality of our world, I came to find that its words rang true. According to this book, God is our creator, and we are his creation. Bit by bit, it began to make sense to me why this book understood both me and the world so well. Because who could know us better than our Creator? The Bible correctly identified and put into words things about myself that I hadn't even realized, but found to be so accurate. Things like my pride, my rebelliousness, my desire to be known. Beyond that, what struck me was the theme of pure, selfless love that ran throughout the entire book and didn't just stop there. this love was God's vision for his creation, for me. He wanted me to be the embodiment of his love, loving people through acts of service and putting their needs before my own. I saw this love in my mentors when they brought me soup and medicine when I was sick, when they would take time out of their day to come to campus and see if I was doing okay. I saw how this love was transformative, how it brought joy and formed genuine relationships. After all, it transformed my life. As I'm sure you know very well, I was a cold and distant person whose heart had been totally closed off to people. But after I found the truth and experienced God's love through the church, my heart opened up again. Since then, I've made so many precious memories with my church community and have seen my heart growing in love for people. Ultimately, my hope is that by sharing the truth with others, they too can come to experience all that I have experienced. So give it a try. Seek out truth. The process might be difficult, but don't give up, because when you find it, you're going to be filled with purpose and so much joy. And in the end, you're going to come out of this so much stronger than you were before. All the best. Melody.